All right, welcome back to American Agenda. They say that those who cannot learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Well, in the late 1930s, President FDR pushed to increase the number of justices on the Supreme Court in an attempt to get his New Deal passed. It didn't happen. And now in the wake of Ruth Bader Ginsburg's passing, some are pushing to stack the court yet again. Representative Joe Kennedy tweeted out, we just told you about this. If he holds a vote in 2020, we pack the court in 2021. It's that simple. So would adding more justices be a possibility? What would this look like? What would it do? Joining us now to weigh in on this is presidential historian and author of Inside Trump's White House, Doug Wead. Sir, thanks for coming on. We do appreciate it. What do you make, I guess, to start off, of this idea, of this threat, I guess, from Congressman Kennedy?
Hey, Rob. Hi. Well, I think it's more than a threat. I think he's signaled what's going to happen. If you hear Democrats deny it, say, oh, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Please don't. If Trump won't appoint somebody, then we won't stack the court. That's like listening to a kidnapper to say, if you pay the ransom and give me one more of your daughters, I promise there won't be any more. You just have to expect this is a new Democrat Party. It refuses to denounce the people in the streets of Portland, and they're calling for a revolution. They will change America culturally, kiss the First and Second Amendments goodbye in some form or another. I believe it's going to happen.
What do they need to do it, though? What kind of a majority would they need to get that done? How many votes?
Whatever it took, they do. In fact, what I'm hearing, it would not just be the Supreme Court. It would be circuit courts all across the country. They would undo all of the appointments that Donald Trump made by just stacking those courts as well. And it's a chance for the Democrats to achieve, Republicans have feared this, Rob, for a long time. That's why Republicans like George H.W. Bush, he would appoint a conservative, and then he'd turn around and he'd kind of give the Democrats a liberal because they couldn't win elections and get them on their own. But the Democrats can't win in referendums. In even liberal states like California, they lose the more liberal referendums they try to get passed. So they can accomplish it through judicial fiat, and that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, if we look back here at some history, it looks like 1869 was the last time that they added a justice to the Supreme Court, and it went from the number 8 to the number 9, which to me makes sense because if you have 8, you're going to get a lot of 4-4 decisions. The odds that this changes again, what do you think?
I think the odds are very high that if the Democrats win the election and win the House and the Senate, they will change it, no matter what they say going into it. I think that's why the president, I think he knows that, and that's why Trump's going to make the decision. It makes this election extremely important. Many people don't understand socialism and how it works. And I visited the Soviet Union after the collapse and interviewed people, and it's just fascinating. School teachers on the day after Easter, they'd ask their children, did anybody have a cake yesterday, little kiddies? Did anybody eat anything special? They were looking for someone who might actually practice Christianity to weed them out. I think we're going to see a huge cultural revolution in our country at some point, and it could happen with this election.
Yeah. I was thinking with this decision, I almost feel like you have to do it. The Republicans had no choice because you can't let this be an election issue because, in my opinion, this really will fire up the left even further if they think that, reproductive rights, all these other things are now on the table as well as the anger that they already feel towards President Trump. If it was to wait till after the election, I think it fuels the left more than the right. What do you think?
Well, I've heard Nunes today say he doesn't see how this can work against Donald Trump, and I think he's right. Really? We're going to find out. At a certain point, we have to know what we are as a country, if we're going to go socialistic in some form or another, if we're going to tilt towards the mob on the street in Portland, or whether we're going to stick to our guns. We have to find out. I mean, now people are defacing the Lincoln Memorial. They're calling John Kennedy a fascist. We've got to kind of see where we are and make up our minds where we want to go. And the outcome may be bad. We may not win it, but I think we better fight it now and not wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, when this came out Friday night that Ruth Bader Ginsburg had died, I just couldn't believe it. I thought, could there be anything else, kind of hanging on this election? It was just unbelievable to add one more thing. Sir, thank you so much for your time. Doug Wead, good to see you as always.
Thanks, Rob.
All right.
Thanks.